Alright. I've been away for 8 days. And I know what you've been thinking. Where's Pup? Where's he gone? How am I gonna survive without his updates? I know. Worry no longer because Pup is back. It's okay. I'm here. Where have I been? Portland for the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Now, if you want to see that little adventure, part 1, where we went for the pre-trip Walmart shopping with game apologist and Cirrus, is up on the Sunset City channel right now. It's full of shenanigans and foibles, and you're going to love it. Part 2 will be coming very, very soon. But today, we are catching up on all of the Sonic Frontiers news that has occurred over the past week. So, we're going to be talking all about the Monster Hunter DLC, the combat overview, Infinite and Death Egg robot connections, the prequel comic, and we're gonna be reacting to the new music tracks, which were released just today as I record this. So, starting off with the Monster Hunter cosmetics. First things first, I am glad that cosmetics are back in full force for Sonic Frontiers. The first look at the cosmetics that we got was the Coronet collaboration. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but here's the thing, no matter how I pronounce it, you guys are gonna tell me I'm pronouncing it wrong, so eat a dick. Then we got the soap shoes, which is just hell yeah. The first time Sonic has been able to wear these shoes since Sonic Adventure 2, which is my favorite Sonic game of all time, and I am so wearing those. They look so good. I'm so excited to play this game just having the soap shoes in there. Maybe this is going to be the best Sonic game ever made, you know, because soap shoes, you know, that's a sign of the best Sonic games ever, right? And then we got our first look at the Monster Hunter DLC, which really changes Sonic's appearance. Like, in some of these images, our trusty blue hero is barely recognizable under all this Monster Hunter armor. But I have to say, I also really love these renders that we're getting. Like, how is it that these renders using the in-game model are coming out nicer than some of the renders we've had with the CGI model? Interesting. And yeah, I'm loving Sonic's in-game model in this one so far as well. He looks really clean. He just looks really nice. And one element confirmed for the Sonic Frontiers Monster Hunter DLC is a cooking game. And as we can see here, Sonic appears to be cooking. Is that a rotisserie chicken? If this is a rotisserie chicken, this is officially the best Sonic game ever made. Can we get like rotisserie chicken cosmetics? Can we get him like a chef outfit? He could have a little backpack on, and as he runs, little rotisserie chickens fall out of it. That'd be sick. That'd be the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So if, like, I had the option, like, for my ideal cosmetics, it would be the soap shoes, and then a little backpack with rotisserie chickens in it that fall out the faster he goes. But I'm wondering if they're gonna go any further than just clothes for Sonic. It is official that we are in the cosmetics era of Sonic, between Sonic Forces, Sonic Colors Ultimate, and now this. And this is quite a bit more in-depth than Sonic Colors Ultimate was, where you could just customize his shoes or his aura or whatever. Here, you know, you can put him in all kinds of clothing. So things I'd like to see. 1, a Stetson. I want to have a little cowboy hat that he can run around these new frontiers in. 2, I'd like the Sonic Boom skin. And 3, I would like a Sonic movie skin. If I could have those, I'll be really happy. And you know what? If you gotta have classic Sonic in these games, make him a skin, you know? I'd be happy to play as him in 3D with this new gameplay style. Hell yeah. But I'm also just liking little things like having a cooking mini game as well, like just things that are just little bonuses, you know, little extra things to do. I love the sound of Sonic Frontiers being the most freeform, sandboxy Sonic game ever made, giving me lots of ways to play, and one of them being cooking rotisserie chickens. Hell yeah, you ain't kidding. Then we've got another overview trailer. These overviews are just these really unique pieces of marketing that just give us like a little tour through the game, really show us what this game is all about. So this kind of walks us through, like, it gives us like a little bit of just the general gist of the game at the start, showing us little bits of cyberspace and such, but then we see just more of an overview dedicated to the combat in this game. So some highlights, some key takeaways. So we have the confirmation that the enemies between the islands will be very different and will get progressively more difficult to fight, requiring more creative combat. We're seeing this big red spider on Ares Island, and yeah, like, so it's the typical sort of progression for a video game. A lot of Sonic fans were very worried about this and are very surprised by it, and bless their little cotton socks. I guess it is fair because Sonic hasn't really done combat before, but at the same time, yeah, that is just how games go. They kind of lead with a move which I think looks like the coolest one yet, the Phantom Rush, where Sonic just leaves after images that fight against the enemies. That's just awesome. And then we've got other attacks like the Sonic Boom, and it kind of just goes on, but they do look very, very satisfying and fun to do. I'm really looking forward to the combat in this game. Like, it's going to be the biggest skill set that Sonic has ever had, period. Period. We're seeing a little more of Sonic's functionality in combat as well, such as like the Psy Loop. It's, you know, it's a very big part of this game. It's part of solving puzzles, but it's also a part of the combat. It can disable shields for certain enemies. We also get a little look at the drop dash as well, which I'm so excited to use because it has been a long ass time since Sonic's been able to curl into a ball and roll down hills and such, so I'm really, really excited to use that move in this game. And from what I'm hearing from people that played the demo, if you use the drop dash in a very smart way, like say use it when going down hills, you will reach Sonic's top speed. You will go a lot faster than you would if you tried boosting down there. So fans of momentum-based gameplay, there is probably going to be a little something in here for you, even if this isn't a strictly momentum-based Sonic game. We also see the Ares Island Guardian boss fight as well, with Sonic grinding around rails using the Psy Loop. It just looks like they've done so much creative stuff using Sonic's brand new skill set. Also, the music in the background sounds really cool too. Overall, this just looks stunning. We also see a little more of Chaos Island, the volcanic island, and this is probably one of the most gray Sonic areas to date, but at the same time, that gray makes it very distinctive. Like, we don't really get fully gray Sonic levels, and it kind of makes it almost a little more intimidating. So moving on over to this reveal of the Sonic Frontiers vinyl album. So, this just, yep, it's a vinyl album, right? But I think this tells us a little more than we might have once originally thought. So, for starters, we can see that there are 4 discs here, and each 4 of these discs have a little sleeve. But if we look closely at these sleeves, it looks like the first one is Kronos Island, the second one is Ares Island, the third one looks to be Chaos Island, which is the volcanic island, and then this fourth one here looks like a Cyberspace Island. Perhaps this is Cyber Island, or maybe this disc is devoted to the Cyberspace tracks. I'm not sure, but like, I think this does give us a little impression of what to expect from these individual islands. We know there's 5 islands in the actual game. Maybe the final one is being kept secret, being kept mysterious, but then if we scroll down just a little bit more, we can see, is that a Death Egg robot hand right there? And it looks like there's a Death Egg Sentinel out in the distance as well. Now, the Death Egg Sentinels were quite a major part of the scenery in Sonic Forces. So, here's my thinking. I think that Sega are trying to make this a saga, and that Sonic Frontiers could potentially be either a continuation or a wrap-up of that saga. So, it begins at Sonic Generations, continues in Sonic Mania, continues in Sonic Forces, and continues or concludes in Sonic Frontiers, which would explain why there is so much iconography shared between these games, such as the Green Hill, the chemical plant, reappearances of the classic Sonic. I feel like Sonic Frontiers feels like almost like a backdoor sequel to a lot of those games. And another thing that gives this credence is this image here, which has been floating around Twitter, of Sage. So, this image here basically just goes through a few facts about Sonic Frontiers, but the last one is particularly telling. Point number 4. Perhaps it's telling that Sage has a similar color scheme to Sonic's past antagonists. Right, so they are acknowledging similarities between Sage and previous enemies of Sonic. A lot of people have joked around and said that she looks a lot like Infinite, which she does. She does look like a sort of a reworked Phantom Ruby style character. Now, you could just say she's in a red, black, and white color scheme, and there's plenty of Sonic villains that do have those colors in there. Dr. Robotnik himself, Shadow the Hedgehog, Zavok, but the most vibes I get from her here here are infinite, and not to mention that she does have the grey skin, and to my understanding, Zavok and Shadow don't really have any grey on them. It's a very infinite looking character, and these patterns all over her do look very Phantom Ruby-esque. Not to mention the cyberspace stages using a lot of chromatic aberration in their visuals, which again is very Phantom Ruby-ish, and then also just all these portals that like enemies drop out of, again, looks very Phantom Ruby. As well as that, there is gameplay of the demo, which has audio, and when these enemies pop out of these portals, listen to the sound. Sounds a bit Phantom Ruby, doesn't it? I get the feeling that maybe the Starfall Islands are where the Phantom Ruby originated, but I don't think we have seen the last of the Phantom Ruby as a story element, and if they didn't maybe play that into this game, then it might be a little bit of a missed opportunity. I know there's a lot of people that would rather just have Sonic Forces left and forgotten, but at the end of the day, if they can pull off Sonic Frontiers as a continuation to Sonic Forces, as a continuation to the Phantom Ruby saga, it is an opportunity to not retroactively make Sonic Forces into a better game, but at least give it a little bit more value in the grand scheme of things. And if that's what they want to do with this, then I'm all for it. Then moving over to the prequel comic. Now, this is just an online-only thing, and it consists of 4 pages. Yeah, this is wafer thin. There is also going to be a prequel animation, but we know nothing about it or when to even expect it, so yeah. But for now, we have got this little comic. Now, it sounds like there's more to come, whether or not they're referring to the animation or whether there's more comics to come, I'm not entirely sure, but we do have Convergence Part 1, so worlds are colliding, as they've kind of said in the trailer, and I'm wondering what that means, as we're not seeing any classic Sonic here. So the comic features Sonic and Tails heading over to an island to help Amy out against the Badniks and Dr. Robotnik's latest attack. Now, Dr. Robotnik is just spewing references out. He's saying things like, get a load of this, time for a change of pace, just quotes from previous boss battles, and I have to say, it is super obnoxious. Now, I don't know if this is written by Ian Flynn or not. Ian Flynn is the main writer of the IDW comics, and is also the lead writer for Sonic Frontiers as a game, which is super exciting. It's his first time writing a game, and having read a lot of IDW comics, I have to say, Ian Flynn is the man for the job. The writing is definitely going to improve in this one. It has the potential to be the best writing in a Sonic game to date. Then there's this prequel comic. Now, the thing that makes me think that this could be written by Ian Flynn is he does love to get in a reference or two. There's plenty of moments where he will have the characters quote vocal tracks from the series history, and they do elicit eye rolls. I'm just like, stop it, Ian Flynn, just stop. But in this case, it might make a little sense, as when Sonic finds Robotnik, it's not Robotnik, apparently. We can see his arm. That does look like Robotnik. But what do we have here? Could it be an imposter among us? We don't know yet because, well, the comic is over. For now. There's very little going on here, but it's fine. And finally, we've got 2 new official music releases. We have the theme of Kronos Island, so it's separate from the theme of the Starfall Islands that we previously talked about on this channel. And then we've got the Cyberspace DJ mix. So I'm gonna basically react to this in front of your very eyes. I've not really done a music reaction before, but yeah, I guess here goes. Pressing that little button in 3, 2, 1, go. So they're going with the piano stuff here. You know, very Breath of the Wild-y. Very understated. But I'm liking it enough. It's fine. It doesn't feel very Sonic-y, but that's fine. Got a little sprightly violin in there, though. That's not bad. That's not bad. You ever notice how there's no way of actually reacting to music? People don't talk while they're listening to music, you know? Like, oh, okay. Little energetic bass line, that's good. This is already more energetic than the sort of the Breath of the Wild stuff. Like, they have kind of felt very Breath of the Wild-y so far, but this is a bit more Sonic-y. This ain't bad. My fear is that this soundtrack could potentially be kind of mid, in that, you know, the island themes are good, but they're not very Sonic-y, and then you've got Cyberspace, which is entirely, the sort of the EDM style, you know, none of that sort of Jun Senoi sort of Sonic rock music style, but, you know, like, I don't always like Tomoyo Otani's more electronic stuff, but this, you know, this so far is actually better. It's a bit more energetic. I'm just gonna kind of soak it in a little bit here. It's definitely more active than the sort of Breath of the Wild stuff it's kind of aping. They've kind of found a way to make it more Sonic-y. I definitely appreciate a little guitar in there if they can. I think having guitar in Sonic soundtracks is like the difference between Sonic running through these areas and a theme for these areas. You know, it'd be cool if every time Sonic runs, you get a little bit of guitar in there, you know? But this is good. I really like the bass line here. It's really pretty. The use of the violin here is also really nice. Don't get me wrong, I haven't disliked anything I've heard so far of this soundtrack much, but like, I have been a little worried about it as far as like Sonic soundtracks in the grand scheme of things, but this so far has got a bit more of that Sonic energy I've been hoping for, even if it's not necessarily like rock music. Oh, okay. All right, we got a little 80s bass line now going on. I'm liking this. Oh, okay. Oh, this is getting very Sonic-y now. Okay, I'm liking this. It kind of reminds me a little of Sonic 06, actually. And I'm saying that in a good way. Like, Sonic 06 had a banger of a soundtrack. It's kind of reminding me a little of Kingdom Valley, you know? It's definitely befitting of a beautiful natural landscape. I'm liking that. I just want people to know I know very little about like music terminology. I'm sure there's a lot of music heads out there that are internally screaming, listening to my kind of reaction to this and the crap I'm saying. But I'm liking it so far. That's what counts, right? Again, it's something that's very different for Sonic. It's just... it's still got that energy, you know? We're now back to that sort of style they were going for at the start, so it feels like it's kind of more energetic, but it's bookended by much softer piano areas, so that's fine. That's fine by me. Okay, yeah, that's good stuff. I'm happy with that. All right, yeah. That fits and everything. It sounds good. So, hell yeah. Okay, right. Let's move on over to the Cyberspace DJ mix now. So it's obviously going to have a bit of a different style to it, being Cyberspace. Like, we've heard tiny little bits from leaks, and we've heard like this track from Sky Sanctuary Zone, and it sounds like they're going very much down the EDM route that, say, Sonic Forces went for with its Avatar stages. So let's give this a listen now. So, gonna hit the play button in 3, 2, 1, go. And we're going straight in with the Sky Sanctuary vocal track. I think Premi de Remy was saying that this one was really good. So let's hear it in high quality. So yeah, it's kind of what I was expecting. A bit Sonic Forces-y, you know? I'm not disliking it. Okay, so it's just a little mix of, little fragments. I don't know if these coincide with the video that we're seeing, but okay, let's just hear this out. Okay. This feels a little more Sonic Rushy, which I like. Oh, okay, I'm liking that. Again, it's not exactly what I would expect from Sonic, but like at the same time, it absolutely fits the energy. It's got a very urban feel to it, this one. I'm liking that. I love this video background as well. Whoever did that, give him a raise. Okay. This sounds very intense. This is cool. This is very cool. I'm liking this. It's very clubby, isn't it? Like, this feels like sort of underground rave kind of stuff, you know? Oh, we're getting a little sort of a Sonic 3D Blasty sounding here with this piano. I'm liking this. Here's a visual metaphor going on here. Sonic is running through Green Hill over and over again. Ad nauseum. Damn. Very intense. Ooh. Okay. It's got a bit of a Martin Garrixy sort of feel to it, which I really like. I could imagine the other like, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, let's go! You know? That wasn't a drop, but, you know, like, it's got that sort of feel to it, you know? This is certainly a very EDM take on Sonic music, but it absolutely seems to fit, I think. I mean, we'll have to see it in-game, but, like, it's got the energy a Sonic music needs, you know? Like, okay, lyrics. This is really cool. Okay. Oh, hell yeah. Listen to that bass. Okay, this is amazing. This is the most Sonic-y sounding part of the soundtrack, and I think it's partly thanks to that slap bassy sort of sound. Feels almost kind of Junsanoi-esque, but obviously very much in Otani's very EDM style. Okay, this is the best part of this. This is the best bit. This is very club. Like, this just reminds me of my days of going to these nightclubs, seeing all the women dancing and not approaching them to talk to them because I'm way too anxious, and going home all by myself and crashing next to the dog. Good times. Nothing's fucking changed. This is pretty immaculate. Oh no, don't end. Don't end. I want to listen to that again. Okay, so I'm gonna say this. Rock is more my genre ultimately. I still prefer the sort of the Junsanoi sort of sound, but this is probably the most Otani sounding Sonic soundtrack we've ever had, because Otani is first and foremost an EDM artist, and he's done great jobs on, you know, soundtracks like Sonic Colors and Sonic Unleashed. This here is very, very Otani, very clubby, very EDM, and yeah. I'm intrigued to see how it sounds in gameplay, but it definitely has the energy that I would want for a Sonic soundtrack. And across the board, it sounds like, aside from the vocal tracks I'm Here and Vandalize, we're getting a very unconventional Sonic soundtrack, but it still has the energy of a Sonic soundtrack, which I guess fits the very unconventional theme of, well, unconventional feel of Sonic Frontiers being an open zone sandboxy game, breaking away from the very arcadey structure that Sonic games have had in the past. This absolutely fits the bill, and I'm just loving the way this sounds. As far as electronic-y sounding Sonic soundtracks go, this is really good. This is some of the best we've had. And as far as Otani soundtracks go, yeah, this is a step in the right direction. I much prefer this sound that he's got with these Cyberspace levels to, say, the EDM style sound of the Sonic Forces Avatar stages, which, yeah, admittedly were perhaps a bit more restrained, a bit more in line with the typical Sonic-y sound, whereas these here are just straight up Otani. On a whole, this does sound like an upgrade from, say, the Sonic Forces soundtrack, where, like, the Avatar soundtracks were cheesy but fun, and then we had, like, the modern Sonic stages, which were just buzzsaw synth gone nuts. Here, it sounds a lot more like this is club music put into a Sonic game. This is a very party feeling sort of Sonic game. Like, the Cyberspace is like a Sonic party in a way, which I guess justifies the freaking reuse of those levels. But at the same time, I guess, yeah, I'm warming up to Cyberspace. And yeah, this game, man, I'm just ready to have this thing in my hands. I'm so ready for this game. I think that Sega are really pulling a rabbit out of the hat with this one. And yeah, I can't believe how trepidatious I was in the early stages. Man, never judge a game by its gameplay reveal, right? Oh yeah, it's all coming together. So what do you guys think of all of this, I guess? The floor is yours in the comments below. If you like my stuff, why don't you subscribe? Check out my other channels. We got different kinds of content across the board. It's a venerable smorgasbord of content just for you. We've also got a new show over on my Patreon called Off the Cuff Pup, where, you know, I just kind of ramble about stuff that's kind of cool, I guess, and stuff I hope to do, my intentions, the future of this channel. You know, it's just a little casual chit-chat kind of thing. And you'll also get early access to episodes of Sunset City Adventure. And if that all sounds good, well, I'm just gonna send you on your merry way to just, you know, do whatever you please. Subscribe, hit the like button, but at the end of the day, there's a skeleton behind me. Oh no. I say, you've made it to the end of the video! Congrats. No, but seriously, thanks a bunch for watching. And just now, I'll be extending a special thanks to the patrons in the $10 tier, who are the astonishing Adam Myers, the ever-so-kind Ken K, the limitless legendary Ray Ray, the marvelous Mr. SP, the spectacular Sergio, and the thunderous That Giordo, which is more evidence that I've really got to stop doing these alliteration adjectives. I gotta find another way to make you guys feel special. What an amazing and generous bunch of people. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you want to join the ranks of these amazing people right here, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. Guys, these are not the easiest times in the world financially, so every little bit you folks are donating is doing wonders. I really would love to be able to do YouTube as a proper fully fledged career someday. It might just be a pipe dream, but maybe you guys can prove some people wrong. But of course, if donations aren't your thing, then, well, it means plenty to me that you just hit that cute little subscribe button over there. I didn't mean hit that way. Well, that's me done for the day. Thanks a whole bunch for your support, and have a fantastic day. I'm gonna see you so soon.
Look!